If you know me, then you know that I love Kiko Milano. I review a lot of Kiko Milano on my channel, but I might have heavily overlooked a very similar Italian brand that some people told me to have a look at, and I checked out their website and I got intrigued. So I bought a bunch of things for a full face of makeup. I'm so excited to try this all out. So let's get into it. Alright, let's start out this video with a lip product because my lips are really dry. I've been a little sick and I'm on the mend, but my lips really suffer. So I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit, just a little bit. And I first have here one of the HYDRASHEER lipsticks and I got shade 13. A lot of shades were sold out on the website. This is one of the shades that was still available that I thought looked really interesting. This is kind of like a rosy shade and I thought in a swatch it looked quite like what I was expecting. Sheer, shiny, buildable, like maybe a little buildable, but definitely not a full pigment lipstick. So we're gonna be trying it out. It has this kind of like push on the bottom kind of like mechanism and then it just comes out. The packaging of everything I think looks pretty good. This feels pretty nice. Prices were very comparable to Kiko Milano. Like Kiko Milano prices now are very similar to the Wycon prices that I paid. Also, I don't really know exactly what's going on with their limited editions. I do think I have a few limited edition products here, but I really don't know like how limited they are. Okay, let's just apply this one. My lips are feeling so rough. This feels really soft. Glides over the lips. That feels really nice. It looks really nice. Feels hydrating. It feels thin and hydrating at the same time. Like they're really interesting. I think that's quite a nice color. It's looking good. Let's see how hydrating it's actually gonna be. I was finding it a little like strange to see myself with like basically no makeup. I have a little bit of skin tint and some eye primer on, but basically with no makeup and then on the lip. It always throws me off. It doesn't matter how natural the lip is, but this looks really nice. So far so good. And then I think I'm gonna do the face first because I'm already wearing the skin tint, but I'm a little scared that there might be some fallout with the eyeshadow, but I'm gonna accept it. I've been kind of like experimenting with if I do my face or my eyes first. Okay, so I have a cream bronzer here. This is the WaterSculpt cream bronzer and I got shade 01 Latte. And this is looking quite interesting. The packaging I think is quite nice because you have this kind of like W where you can press and then it opens up. It's really easy to open, at least for me. So this is the lightest shade. It looks kind of warm. I don't know if it's gonna be too warm. It does look like it has a bit of a golden undertone. It is kind of like thin. It is kind of like soft and thin. It's not like super emollient under the fingers when you touch it. We're just gonna try it out and see. So I'm just gonna take this Cinch FO3 and take a little bit of this. I don't think this is gonna be super pigmented, but we're gonna start out sorta slowly, and I'm just gonna place that right here. It's definitely not my preferred color, something that is more warm, but we're gonna see. Like sometimes things seem more warm than they are, or they just look a little bit more bronzy and not like orangey per se. This is blending really nicely. Like that is really nice. That's gorgeous. Very skin-like. Just gonna sweep over it a little bit to blend it in a little bit more. I feel like applied lightly, I can probably get away with this color. A build up, I think it would start looking a little crazy with my skin tone. Gonna take a little bit for the forehead. This is definitely a buildable bronzer. It's not super pigmented. I don't feel like it feels heavy. It dries down. I like that. Nothing sticky or heavy. That's looking really nice on the forehead. That's looking really nice. Okay, there's definitely potential, a lot of potential to this formula. I just have to see how much I like the color on myself. But I feel like that also always depends a little bit on the rest of the makeup, the blush, things like that. But this is really nice. Like not blotchy, No issues with blending. It's just really easy. I do feel like that looks quite natural. What do you think? I think it's a really nice effect on the skin. I'm really liking that actually. Okay, so far I like both the products that I've tried. The lip is feeling really good. The thing about the lip is that it's not like smeary. It doesn't really go anywhere. I feel like it would probably wear quite long. Like it's not exactly grippy or sticky, but there's just something about it where it stays put. Okay, then I got a baked blush. And this is the Mineral Blush Baked Blush, and I got it in shade. Does it say the shade on here? Where did I put the packaging? Okay, the shade is Cotton Candy 04. So this is kind of like a pinky baked blush, and it looks kind of glittery as you look at it in the pan. It definitely has a glitter to it, so we're gonna see if it's gonna look that glittery on the skin. Seems kind of like a muted rose, almost has a little bit of something purpley to it, and it also definitely seemed to have a little bit of a glow in the swatch. But we're gonna see how glittery it's gonna look on the cheeks, because I don't love like sparse glittery cheeks. It's not for me. Okay, so I'm gonna take this Cinch blush brush and we're just gonna like try it out with this, see if it works. This is very powdery, so I'm gonna do a little bit of tapping. Very powdery. I don't know if it's gonna be too much pigment. I'm gonna put a little bit over here. Like I think I took a little bit too much. I didn't think it was gonna be so powdery. Okay, definitely see the glow on my skin. See a little bit of glitter or shimmer. I'm gonna do the other side first before I do my close-up assessment. I do see a little bit of like the shimmer from this distance. Like my mirror is not super like close to me, so this is kind of like what people would see if they would just like talk to me or something like that. It's a very powdery blush. Very powdery. Gonna take a clean brush to kind of like fix the blend of the edges. I feel like it's a little too harsh because of all the pigment. Okay, I'm gonna grab a mirror. There's definitely some shimmer here, but I don't feel like it's chunky, but it's definitely a shimmery blush. But it's not like that feel of shimmer that I often talk about. It's definitely, you can see kind of like individual shimmer particles, but I don't know if it's gonna be something I'm gonna truly dislike. I feel like it's done in a way that I could maybe get into, because it does have quite a nice like glow to it. Like as I turn my head, it's looking very nice and healthy and quite beautiful. Like I feel like the look on the skin is something I could definitely get on board with. I don't know, it does give quite a nice glow. Now I kind of feel like maybe I should add a little bit more on the apples. Like maybe I removed a little bit too much there. I think it's nice. I don't think it's gonna bother me, the shimmer that is in here. I think it's pretty cute. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. And I actually got something from the To Get Her or Together collection. I think this was their limited edition for Valentine's Day. And I got one of the highlighters. This is the highlighter in 02 Daydream. It's a fireworks highlighter. Packaging, once again, I think is really cute. And this is kind of like a baked gelée highlighter. It looks super shimmery in the packaging. There are two shades in this. I got the 02 shade. It looks super shimmery, but really beautiful. I do want to mention that they have this formula in an eyeshadow as well. I feel like it's the same thing. I already swatched everything. This is the Visionary eyeshadow. I got one of these because people really seem to like these, and apparently these are kind of like a Pat McGrath super shimmery dupe, and this just feels really similar. This one was in 05. I don't know if I said that, but these both feel really kind of like dry to the touch, super dry, nothing putty here, and then they are very pigmented and very shimmery. So I think it's a pretty smart choice for them to make a highlighter formula of this, because I feel like people really love it, so why not? So I'm gonna experience it on the cheek before I experience it on the eyes. Look at this. This is so pigmented. I might have taken a little bit too much. Like, that is such a glittery highlighter. Okay, tip from Marlie, just take the tiniest bit. I should have just touched it ever so lightly. And now I have the most blinding cheeks of my life. Oh, but that is really beautiful actually. It's not like that sparse glitter, it's really like, it's really beautiful actually. Like, that is a gorgeous highlighter. I took way too much. I need to do something about that. I need to blend this in. I took way too much. But it's really beautiful. Oh, blend it in. That is so nice. That is really nice. I thought it might be too chunky. And probably next time I wear it, I'm gonna like wear it even more lightly. But that is really nice. Like, it's not gonna be a natural highlighter, I think. I don't think that's really gonna happen. But it is really beautiful and it's not chunky and the shimmer particles are not like too big according to me. I think it's still gonna be quite a like sort of wearable highlighter. That is really nice. Alright, we are moving on to the eyeshadow palette that I decided to buy. I got the Cool Gems eyeshadow palette and this seems to be part of a collection. I don't know exactly what the collection is. It just says Cool Gems eyeshadow palette, but the outer box of this just looks like this is part of a collection. So this is just my type of color story. I really like the cool tones that we have in here. We have some green as well. We have a blue shimmer. I actually thought when I swatched it that this was a really interesting formula. Especially the shimmers are very putty, very shiny. It feels almost a little bit like that typical putty, shiny indie formula. Very different from the formulas that I've tried by Kiko Milano. I'm very excited to try this out, see if I can get a cute look with this. I am just gonna start out with Glam. We're just gonna do a simple look because I just want to try out the formula, see how I feel, and I also want to try the Visionary eyeshadow, so I don't want to take too many shades from the palette, so I still have a little bit of room for the Visionary eyeshadow. Seems like it's not super pigmented and not super like easily smooth. I have to work a little bit for this matte. Like, it's not bad, but I have to work for it a little bit. It just seems a little bit thin, this matte formula. It's a thin formula. Like, it's not super like smooth and impactful right away, but it's workable, I think. This shadow turns way more gray on my eyes than I'm expecting from the pan. Like, in the pan it looks a little bit like a taupey brown almost shade. This looks quite cool toned, like a gray. Like, this is the shade. Oh, maybe it's not too far off. I think I'm being thrown off a little bit by the packaging of this. Yeah, that's not too far off, I guess. I think it's looking pretty good right now. I'm gonna take a brush to apply a bit of that under my eyes as well. I think this is turning out quite good so far. Like, it's just one shade, but it's looking pretty good. It's really hard to see in this light with this background. Like, it's really hard to see what I want to do. I feel like this is already pretty dark. And most shades are kind of like of the same depth except for shade Cash. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of Cash and put that in my outer corner. There is not that much to do with the mattes in this palette. Like, you don't have that many options. And once again, I feel like it's not looking the best upon first application. Like, I do have to like go in, blend, do my best to make things work, but then it looks pretty good. So I don't know, it's not a super beginner friendly formula, I think. But who knows, if the shimmers are really nice, I could still very much be convinced of this palette. I love shimmers. I'm a shimmer girl. So if shimmers in the palette are good, I can still love it definitely. Gonna blend the edge. I do feel like that is blending really easily. It's looking good. Maybe I should try some different brushes. Like, it's a totally new formula for me. So maybe I could change up my technique a little bit in the future. Alright, I just want to try one of these shimmers. And I think I might go into the shade called Star. Or maybe in Buy. What should I do? I think I'm first gonna go into the Visionary eyeshadow. It kind of seems to have a duochrome. It's kind of like from a pink to a gold. It's also called rose gold, but it's kind of like shifting. So let's apply this on the eye and see. Like, this is looking really beautiful on the finger. Very promising, but it might be the type of formula that has some fallout. That's really nice. Do you see that sparkle? But like, not in a chunky way, not in a heavy, chunky, it's too much kind of way. That is actually really nice. Like, I could see myself still wearing that into the office because it's not like overly chunky, but it's really like beautifully shimmery. That is really nice. All right, now I'm gonna go into the shade called Buy. I'm gonna put that on my lid with my finger as well. It's quite cool tone. I think it has a little bit of a duochrome to it. It is really beautiful, but I'm kind of wondering how it's gonna last with it being a little putty. Like, we're gonna see how it's gonna last. This is turning into quite a cute look. Like, this is also a kind of shimmery formula, but it's not too chunky, where it's just too much and taking over. Like, I like that as well. I like chunky shimmers, but I like this as well. Let's do something a little different. I'm gonna go into the shade called Diva. This is kind of like blue shimmer. I'm gonna put that in the inner corner with a pencil brush. And then I'm gonna kind of like rip it, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap it around here, like underneath. This is a really nice shimmer. We're gonna see if it's gonna crease, but it's already like pretty late in the day, so I don't know if I'm gonna see anything today. That's really nice. Like, if this lasts, like, these shimmers are really pretty. I think the Visionary is gonna last because that is a really dry formula, but the other ones we're gonna see. I don't have that much fallout. I don't know what I have here. I think it's from the matte eyeshadow a little bit. I could just wipe that away. I didn't buy an eyeliner, so we're gonna do a shadow liner. I'm just gonna take this shade Top over here. This was kind of like a strange shade. It's kind of like, is it trying to be cream to powder? Is it just a satin, or is it trying to be something else? We're gonna see. Well, we're not gonna see much from just using it as a shadow liner, but we're gonna start somewhere. I'm gonna put this palette to the test. I'm gonna put all of these products to the test more and update you on them. That is quite a nice liner. I do like satins for shadow liners. I am not mad at this end result at all. Do I think the highlighter is a bit much? Yes, yes, I think so. But the eye look, I think, is looking cute. I want to add a little bit of Princess here, right over here. I feel like I need a little bit more structure here, just a tiny bit. Yeah, that definitely has a bit more of a pinky hue to it as well. I am liking this look. Yeah. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Alright, what we have left is some lip products. I have kind of like a liner and gloss combo, or I have this Cozy Mousse lipstick. What am I gonna do for this look? I think I'm gonna do the Cozy Mousse lipstick as the last step. So I'm gonna take off this lip. We're gonna do the liner and the gloss first. And I'm gonna finish my look, and then we're gonna end with the mousse lipstick. Alright, so here I have the Intense Lip Pencil, and I bought it in 05 Violet. And this is kind of like a berry purple shade. It looks really beautiful, looks really promising. It's just a sharpenable pencil. It swatched like what I would expect it to swatch like. It is not too dry, but it's also not super creamy. It's pretty pigmented, so let's see. I do sometimes find it pretty difficult to apply a lip liner when it's such a like small tip, very precise, but I'm gonna do my best. I'd say this is going pretty well. This is like a nice in between, not too creamy, not too dry, pigmented. Like this is looking good. Okay, so this is the liner. I think it's gonna be a pretty good one to have like in my arsenal, in my collection, because I do like kind of like softer berry lips. I don't feel like I have anything like this yet. I have a pretty crazy makeup collection, but my lip liners are like quite manageable. I don't have all shades that I probably should have. Alright, then we have the Gloss Shot Lip Gloss, and this is in the shade 07. A more cool toned pinky gloss. Looks right up my alley, looks really great. And this is a pretty interesting gloss formula. I'm very excited to try it out. This one has a slight shimmer in it, not very chunky, and I don't know, it feels kind of like almost on the thicker side. Looks quite pigmented, but you can sheer it out, definitely. Feels quite thick, but not too thick. Like, it's definitely not a super thin gloss. I don't really feel the shimmer in it. It feels quite nice, and I feel like it's looking really good. And I do feel like it's blending in quite nicely. Like, I like that slight bit of shimmer in there. Like, this is looking pretty good. I'm liking it. Like, it's not too thin, not too thick. It has a little bit of grip to it. I feel like you're gonna ask me how this compares to the 3D Hydra Gloss by Kiko Milano. I find it a little bit hard to say. I feel like in a way it's not too far off. Might be a little bit thicker and maybe a little bit more grippy than the 3D Hydra. But there's something about the look of it that isn't like too far off. Like, this is really nice and shiny and a really beautiful color. Okay, so brows and mascara are done. We have the Cozy Mousse lipstick. Seems that this could be from the same collection as the Cool Gems eyeshadow palette. I don't know for sure. So this is a shade 02 Pretty in Pink. It looks a little bit like a darker, more muted pink, a little bit on the mauve side. Swatches really interestingly, kind of like a thicker, almost creamy glossy product. I'm curious to see if this is gonna like dry down or if this is gonna feel a little bit more like creamy glossy on the lips. So I'm just gonna apply it and see. It's very similar to my lip color. I don't think it's gonna be like super smeary or anything. It's not giving me that vibe. It feels really soft. It's really easy to apply. It's like extremely comfortable. I feel like it's looking really good and smooth. Like, there's almost something a little bit blurring about it. I'm very curious to see where this goes, how long this lasts. I definitely don't think this is gonna be transfer proof. Like, I could do a little, like, this is very creamy, but it has a lot of potential. I'm actually thinking I'm probably gonna like this. I do want a little bit of a lip liner though. Okay, so this is gonna be the finished look. I added a little bit of the Plumping Lip Liner by Catrice in Queen Vibes, and I'm really enjoying how this came out. The highlighter is a little crazy, but the quality of the products that I've tried today actually is kind of shocking. There's nothing here that I didn't enjoy. I'm very excited to try these products out more. I'm gonna see how this wears today. I'm gonna give you a little update if I have anything to say. So yeah, I think this was really successful. Let me know if you have any favorites from Wycon that you think I should try. Is this a brand that you would like to see more of on my channel? I feel like nobody talks about this, so we're gonna see how you feel. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.